Canada has been one of the most preferred study destinations for many international students for a long time now. And some of the driving factor to this is because Canada is renowned for its high standard of education, its beautifully created landscape, its cultural diversity, its post-graduation work opportunities, friendly immigration policies, and several other factors. In 2023 alone, it's recorded that Canada had nearly 1 million international students from several parts of the world coming into Canada to study, and the government of Canada is looking into this, and they are saying that it is disconcerting. Sadly, the dreams of many international students who wish to go into Canada to study may soon not become a reality. If you know Canada is one of the few countries who has a welcoming immigration policy with several pathways through which you can become a permanent resident in Canada. We have the express entry route. Even studying in Canada alone gives you an ample opportunity for you to go through the express entry to become a permanent resident in Canada, which is something that many people would want and appreciate. In 2023, it is recorded that Canada's population rose to 40 million people. This is including both permanent residents and temporary residents in the country. This is a good news to Canada. However, this rise in population has also brought several problems like high in interest rates, inflation, unaffordability of accommodation, problems with even getting housing for people who need accommodation. It's going to surprise you how much accommodation costs in Canada, and I'm going to be showing you one of that. I checked on the website of one of the rental property brokers, and I checked for an apartment to rent in North Bay, which is said to be one of the cheapest places to live in Ontario, Canada, one of the provinces in Canada, and I was shocked. I saw that a one-bedroom apartment in North Bay ranges from 1,000 Canadian dollars per month, and you can see that of 1,450 Canadian dollars, and a two-bedroom apartment, not a house, not a bungalow, ranges from 1,800 Canadian dollars to 2,045 Canadian dollars. That is in the cheapest place to live in Canada. And then I decided to go to Toronto, which is the capital of Ontario and one of the largest cities in Canada, and I saw a one-bedroom apartment for 2,328 Canadian dollars per month. My goodness, for a one-bedroom apartment, not even a bungalow, a one-bedroom apartment. And I also saw another one-bedroom apartment for 2,458 Canadian dollars per month. That is over double of the amount of renting a one-bedroom apartment in one of the cheapest places to live in Canada. And then when you move over to a two-bedroom apartment, you see that a two-bedroom apartment costs 3,563 Canadian dollars per month, and you can see another one for 4,678 Canadian dollars per month. My goodness, that's a lot of money. How much do people actually get paid in Canada? And if you're an international student studying in Canada, say you're studying in Ontario and you're looking to rent an accommodation, how would you be able to afford this kind of amount of money to pay for a one-bedroom apartment? That is a lot. And the government is saying that the increase in population has caused a lot of issues, but they are not blaming immigrants, that is people coming into Canada, as the reason for the rise in interest rates and the unaffordability of housing. But you know, the law with demand and supply. The more the demand, the higher the cost of that product, because when several people are looking for something, people tend to increase the price because it's not them, the Russians. And one thing about these houses is that not only is it expensive, they go by too quickly. If you live in the UK, you already know what we are already experiencing here in the UK. It's very difficult to find a house because the number of people in the UK is already higher and greater than the houses that are available for people to live in. The same thing Canada is experiencing, and it is estimated that Canada will need about 3.5 million homes by 2030 to restore affordability to housing, because the cost of housing, even buying a house in Canada now, is something that you cannot even think about because of the increase in interest rates and the increase in cost of these houses. So what has the Canadian government done to tackle this? Sometime 2023, Canadian government put a ban on some people, some foreigners, from buying homes in Canada, because they said that foreigners coming to buy houses in Canada was causing an increase in the price of houses, because like we said, the demand and the supply. So they put a ban, 2-year ban actually, for people who are not Canadian citizens or permanent residents from buying homes in Canada, and so many other measures that they've put in place to increase the number of houses that are being built, and so many things, investing more money into housing and several other things that they've done. But now the latest is that the Canadian government is considering putting a cap on the number of international students that get admitted into Canadian institutions in a bid to reduce the effects increase in population has on the housing market of Canada. So like I said earlier, the Canadian government is not blaming international students or blaming immigrants for being the cause of this increase in unaffordability of housing. However, in addition to the measures that they've put in place to curtail this absurd increase in housing costs, they decided to look into the international educational system and try to reduce the number of international students that come into Canada each year. The Minister of Immigration Canada, Mark Muller, said that they are trying to tackle the international students admission that has gotten out of control. At the moment, they haven't said to what extent the cap is going to be. They haven't said what they are going to do, how many, what the numbers of international students that they will be expecting to admit each year would be. So now we don't know what they are planning. We know what they are planning to do, but they don't know how they are planning to achieve what they want to achieve. So what does this mean for international students? It means that many international students that will be applying to study in Canada from either this year or next year. This year is just starting, so if they are coming up with this rule or this change this beginning of the year, it's likely that it's going to be implemented towards the middle or the end of this year. So this means that several international students that may be applying to study in Canada this year or next year may not be admitted, and it is very sad. And this does not only affect international students, it also affects the Canadian educational system, because we all know that the Canadian educational system depends on the high amount of school fees that are being charged to international students to be able to raise funds to fund the running of their universities. And it is not a secret, it is something that we all know. So if they are planning to put a cap on the number of international students that come into Canada to study, that means they would need to also have to make another plan to be able to support the Canadian educational system financially, so that when they deprive them of the money that comes from international students, they will also have funds to run and keep their educational system going. But for international students, you need to do something. So what can you do so that your application to be admitted into a Canadian university, if you wish and dream and plan to study in Canada, would not be refused? The first thing I would advise you to do is to go ahead of the game. At the moment, they haven't said what measures they are trying to put in place. They know what they want to achieve: reduce, put a cap. We want to put a cap. Putting a cap means maybe they are going to say that in 2023, nearly 1 million international students came into the school, so into the country, I mean to say. So in 2024, we want only 500, we want 200, 300, we don't know what it's going to be. So now you need to go ahead of the game. If you're thinking and still hoping and thinking, oh, I want to study in Canada, but I don't know when, or you're still dragging your feet, the best time to act is now. You need to get ahead of the game, begin to apply to study in Canada, get you admissions before whatever they are planning to do goes into law and it becomes more difficult to get admitted into Canadian university. The second thing you need to do is have option B. If you wish to study in Canada, you need to have an option B. Option B is looking up other countries, just in case you don't get admitted to study in Canada if they put a law or put a cap finally on the number of international students they admit. So you need to start planning, looking up other countries to say, okay, if Canada does not work, this is where I would like to go study. That is what you need to start doing. Start researching other countries as you're researching and applying to Canada. Thirdly, if you're a student who is still studying in school, try to study hard. My dad told me when I was studying, he said, open your head, put the book inside and close the head back. It's very funny, but you need to start studying. Dip your head in your studies, like invest in studying and make sure you come out with excellent grades, because you know that if they are admitting students, they look at those who have excellent grades first. After they've gotten the number of people with excellent grades, they now start looking at others who do not have so excellent grades, but just to complete the number of people they wish to admit. So you need to start studying very hard so you can come up with an excellent grade, so that your chances of getting admitted would not be restricted. And for those who are currently studying in Canada and are finding it difficult to get housing or afford even the cost of the housing, I can only pray for you and encourage you to keep trying, to keep praying, to keep looking and keep searching, and I believe that you will surely find a place for you to stay. And I believe that if you work hard and pray and believe and keep searching, God will provide for you. You'll be able to afford the amount of money you need to pay for your housing and meet up with the high cost of living. So guys, that's it for today. If you know you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend this video to more and more people, so that they can get to see this video and get the information that's in it. And if you also enjoyed this video, don't forget to share it with your friends, colleagues, relations, everyone you think and you know would benefit from the information that is in this video. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please, what are you waiting for? Do not hesitate. Don't leave this video without subscribing. Hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification so you can be notified each time I upload a new video. And until I see you next time, don't forget to check this channel for videos about scholarships, international scholarships. If you're a nurse, you want to practice internationally, I've made videos on how to practice in United States of America, in Dubai and several other countries. Please check in this channel. Work videos are here. You can get temporary work visas to work in several countries. I've made videos about that. And until I see you next time, take good care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your day. I love you all and bye.